Joining me tonight, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. Senator, good to have you with us tonight. This is a story you and I have talked about a lot. It just seems to keep getting worse. This is nothing but an assault on the Postal Service. Who's against the Postal Service? The Republicans. And now this story is out about how they're going to go after the fund that's out there. Senator, what's going on here? This bill is an assault on the Postal Service. How else can we read it?
Well, you can't read it any other way, Ed. Look, this ties into the Koch brothers and the right-wing Republicans' vision of America. These are the guys who want to privatize Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the United States Postal Service. They're very clear about this. A few years ago, as you recall, their plan called for ending and doing away with 15,000 rural post offices, half the processing plants in America, Saturday mail delivery. So year after year, the Republicans have been waging a fierce attack against the Postal Service and the people who work there. The bottom line here, and here's the most important point, if the Postal Service today did not have to contend with this absolutely oppressive burden of funding 75 years of future health benefits for retirees in a 10-year period, $5.5 billion every year, you know what? The Postal Service this year would make about $1 billion in profit. You want to save the Postal Service, you get rid of that burden, not prevent people from getting door-to-door delivery.
And to follow that angle, Senator, there's over $60 billion right now in that fund that is supposed to be and is set aside to take care of health care and retirement obligations for people that aren't even working at the Postal Service yet. And now there's a story out by Bloomberg saying that House Republicans are looking at using this fund to close the gap on the Highway Trust Fund. What do you know about this? This is outrageous.
Well, it's beyond outrageous. Look, here's the point. In 2006, the Bush administration came up with this plan to put this unprecedented burden on the Postal Service. Ed, there is no other entity at the federal, state, and local level that has anything like this burden. There is no corporation in America that has anything near this burden. Bottom line is, without this burden, giving the Postal Service flexibility to do things, radical, revolutionary things like copy documents, like notarize papers, like ship wine and beer, like maybe getting into the banking business to help low-income people finally get decent banking service. You do that, you will have a strong and profitable Postal Service that will continue to deliver mail to every household in the United States of America. The idea that they would take away the ability of people to get door-to-door delivery in order to fund our infrastructure is totally crazy. What we need to do is, in fact, rebuild our crumbling infrastructure. The way you come up with the money is you ask the 1 out of 4 major corporations in America that pay zero in federal income tax to start paying their fair share of taxes. You don't tell old people that they can't get mail on Saturday or they can't get door-to-door delivery.
I don't know who's against door-to-door delivery. No, this is absolutely crazy. Proponents of this bill say that it's going to save the Postal Service $2 billion a year. Basically, what it's going to do is going to run a lot of people out of work unnecessarily, and it's going to hurt a lot of veterans because the Postal Service hires more veterans than anybody else. And, Senator, I appreciate your work on this. You're one of the very few voices that's willing to step up and go after this issue. This is privatization on steroids. It's wrong, and I've said all along on this program that they were going to go after that fund, and they were going to try to use it for something else. It's turned out to be nothing but a slush fund, and this is the Republicans have got their hands all over this. And my final question to you as Senator is, are there any Republicans that think that this is just a bastardization of the Postal Service?
I think there are. I mean, I think there are Republicans, for example, in rural areas who appreciate the significance of these small-town post offices for their people. There are Republicans who understand that we have a strong Postal Service and getting goods and products out to people in a timely manner. It is good for the business community. So to answer your question is, yes, I do believe there are Republicans who do not want to decimate the Postal Service. And I promise you this, I'm going to do everything that I can, and I'm going to have a lot of allies in the Senate to make sure that nothing like this happens.
Senator Bernie Sanders, good to have you on the Ed Show. Thanks so much. Keep up the